The Saccos, so far, the statistics we have, the savings are about 1.2 trillion. And out of that, about 1 trillion has been given out as loans. POSCA coordinated its membership of 42 countries all over the world. Some coming from Europe, USA, and Africa. And I think the membership is 50-50, Africa and the outside world. There are the 42 members, those who are there, witness that. But the aim of the conference is actually to share experiences, best practices within the cooperative movement, and obviously strengthening the cooperative movement within the membership countries. In Kenya, we are still focusing on shelter. Most of our people who are given those loans put their money, one, in shelter is number one. Number two is retail trade. And number three was education. So you can see those are the basic needs for Kenyans who are in the cooperative movement. So they are looking at, but we want them to move out of there and go into serious investments like manufacturing. And that's why we are also promoting as a ministry micro, small, and medium enterprises. So we want to use the cooperative as enabler so that we establish more MSMEs so that we can now include more people in the economy. The youth issue is something that even you people in the media should help us so that the white-collar jobs are no longer there. But we should encourage youth to be entrepreneurs. We have funds already, we have support from the government, we have support from development partners, which can enable youth to enter into productive entrepreneurship, to create wealth for themselves, create employment for others. When I came in, I found already the ministry had done a lot through the PS here. The cooperative bill is already in Parliament. 2 weeks ago, we had a meeting with the relevant committee of Parliament. We went through, we made suggestions. It is going for the second reading, and we are hopeful that before the end of this year, it will have been finalized. There are other outstanding issues like term limits. There are those who want to have term limits. There are those who feel that there should be no term limits for directors who have been there for a long time, because governance actually has been an issue in our cooperative movement. And we found out that some directors have stayed long there. So it was our feeling that we should create a term limit of 3 years each. You serve for 3 years, renew once, you serve a maximum of 6 years, and you come out. Despite the government cleared about 4 billion, the debt is still there. The same to coffee. These cooperatives keep on, because of management issues, keep on borrowing. When they were talking about it, it was about 6.2 billion. Now, you go now, it is over 7 billion. So even if the government cleared the 6 billion, still there will be another 1 point something billion still accumulated. So I think we must have a solution of stopping debts. And debts is part of mismanagement. And that's why we are saying we are going to have an eye on borrowing in cooperatives, because some members are duped into being told that we are borrowing to pay dividends while we wait for money from cooperative bank in terms of cherry fund, when actually they are just borrowing for their own use. So as a government, it cannot sustain this debt issue. So we must have a solution to it, and I think what my peers have said here, having a committee within the office of the Commission of Cooperatives to look at any borrowing by any cooperative so that we establish that cooperatives are borrowing for a good intention.
This bill, we have delineated the functions of counties and the functions of the national government. I think that's a very, very important aspect of the Cooperative Bill 2024. And importantly, it tries very aggressively to cure the problem of good governance in cooperative movement. We are looking at aspects of how we manage our cooperatives in terms of the democracy aspect, leadership, how long can you serve? And we believe that if high offices like the presidency has limits, also we need to have some kind of limits in the way we elect our leaders, in how long they can serve, how we rotate them, so that we improve on good governance in how we manage our cooperatives. The cooperative movement in Kenya now, we are around 15 million Kenyans are members of cooperative. Of those 15 million, mostly are in the agriculture sector. Most of our value chains are anchored by the cooperative movement. We use the cooperative movement as the aggregator, as the aggregator of our efforts in the rural Kenya. Coffee, even rice, the biggest, Moya is a multi-purpose cooperative society. Rice is aggregated around the cooperatives. In the financial sector, Saccos, we are around 4 million members. In terms of numbers, as the cabinet minister said, we have savings of around 1.2 trillion, a loan book of around 1 trillion. And again, I think that shows the power of Saccos, because if you, in terms of embrace of technology, I think the movement is really leading, and I think that's why we have Safaricom here. In terms of technology, the cooperative movement has really embraced technology, more so the financial sector, in terms of the platform they use. There's more we can do, of course, in view of artificial intelligence in this era of quantum computing. I think the movement is anchored well in terms of how we are embracing technology, but also the risk that come with it in terms of cybercrime. But the question is, we need to raise the hill. How do they incur this debt? And so through the leadership of the cabinet minister, we are saying that borrowing has to be approved by a committee within the commissioner's office, so that the difficult questions are asked. You are borrowing for what? To ensure that you just don't incur debt and then come and ask for the government to waive the debt.
The objective is we are trying to show that Africa Cooperative Movement can be used to empower people, and with the numbers that we have in the continent, we need to start seeing more of those numbers going high. The Saccos Congress this year is just about sustainability and supporting entrepreneurship engagement. Lastly, the conversation around regulation. We are linking this with unemployment, for instance. African unemployment is double-digit in most of the countries, if not all. And the ministry, particularly the State Department, have been focusing on saying, let's use a cooperative to create employment. And this particular meeting is trying to show that we can use this model to empower people and make them be productive in their various ways. Even in our space, we are looking at Kenya, the big Saccos, the police Sacco, Mwalimu, Arambe, Stima, their membership also should start driving towards 1 million plus. So in terms of numbers, we are still behind, but in Africa, it is the one that is at the top compared to the rest.